Okay, you're looking here at what I commonly refer to as the back 40. This is behind our greenhouse, so we're looking east towards the Atlantic Ocean. Although you can't see it, it's several miles east of where we are in Central Virginia. But as you can see, I'm going to pan around here. There's the greenhouse, and we have the greenhouse oriented so that it runs east to west to maximize the sunlight from the south. So let's walk a little closer here, and so I can show you what we've got going on. So in this section we have our watermelon planted, and we have two varieties of watermelon that we're planting this year. Let me see. I think I'm in need of a new tripod. Alright, so these are our watermelon. I've got 10 plants planted in this area. The sheet of plastic is, if I remember correctly, I believe it's 20 feet wide and 50 feet long, and so we have used about half of it, and I think I'm going to try to see if I can squeeze in some more watermelon on the other half so we can have a succession for the fall. But these are doing fantastic, and like I said, we have two varieties. We have an heirloom variety called Charleston Gray, and that's the plants that you see closest to us here in the camera. And the ones that are further away are a hybrid seedless watermelon that we purchased through Burpee's seed catalog, and it's called Big Tasty Seedless Watermelon. And it's a smaller watermelon. According to the information on the seed package, they grow to be about 6 to 8 pounds, maybe 10 to 12 max. So they're not a huge watermelon, but they are supposed to be seedless, and as the name refers, they're supposed to be tasty. I've never tried them before. The Charleston Gray, though, I've had and I've planted several years now, and I really like those. They have a really great taste. They are seeded, but they're not like heavily seeded like some of the others, like Crimson Sweet and some of the others you might see in the store that have seeds. So I'm going to take the camera now off of the tripod and get you in here for a closer look so you can see these watermelon. I know we've got a big Charleston Gray right here that's growing. Let me see if I can get in close so you can take a look at this guy. He is doing really well. Look, there's a little one right here growing next to him. That's a nice watermelon. So we've got several of those hidden among the vines. Here is the seedless watermelon. As you can see, it's doing quite nicely. And if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see I made a comment, or a post if you will, about having triplets and being a proud papa of triplets. So here is one of the triplets. Here's the second triplet right here, and there is the third. They're all right here together. It seems to be a pretty prolific watermelon. There's another little one growing right here. Let me see if I can show you. Right there, coming on. We've got one over here. So getting some size on it. There's another one right there. So, oh, here's another one. Right there. Got another little one coming on right out here. So they're doing really well. I see, oh, see another one. Wow. We're gonna have a nice harvest, it looks like. So that's what we've got going on here. And as you can see, I've got another half that I could plant some more watermelons. So that's kind of my plan. is to plant some more, so we'll have a second crop. But what we're going to do today is we're going to pull back this plastic. It's been cooking the weeds and grass and that wiregrass or Bermuda grass, whatever you want to call it. It's been cooking for several months. I would say probably a good 6 months now. And when you walk on it, it's really nice and soft. And this is the way to do it, I think, folks. You don't have to use a tiller. If you don't want to, you could, I guess. But we're going to put the camera back on the tripod, and I'm going to pull this plastic back and see what's underneath, the condition of the soil. And we are going to plant some sweet corn, green beans. All right, it looks pretty good actually. Let me bring you in for a closer look. It looks good. This is the ultimate no-till method. All right, take a look, folks. That's what you get. And actually, by the sun, through the solarization of the heat that's produced from the rays hitting the black plastic, I mean, it really does a nice job of killing out those weeds, grass, and other vegetation. And what that does for the soil, it decomposes. It becomes almost like compost, if you will. So it's nice and fluffy. So we're ready to go. So I'm going to plant probably 4 rows of sweet corn. Let me pause the camera and I'm going to go get my seeds so I can show you what we're planting. So here is the corn that we plan to plant. It is Silver Queen hybrid, so it's a sweet corn, a white sweet corn from Ferry Morris. Paid $3.99, so and let's see if it gives the amount here. Not sure. Don't see that. I don't know if that's 32 grams. I guess. I don't know. Says here at the bottom it takes about 91 days for it to grow to harvest. So July 6th. So if we go from July 6th, August 6th, September 6th, October 6th, that would be roughly about 90 days. So that would put us probably a couple weeks before our first frost. So we'll check it out, see if we have corn come the first week of October. So July, August, September, yeah, so about the first week of October. The next thing we're going to plant should take us a little less time. This is also from Ferry Morris, and it is the Blue Lake 274 bush green beans. I've planted these in the past. They're very good. They're like the green beans you buy at the store in a can, basically. So we're going to plant some of these, probably a row or 2. Okay, with our sweet corn, on the back it says the spacing of the rows should be approximately 3 feet. So we'll probably try that. We'll see if we can I'd like to get 4 rows in. Probably won't do because we're only revealing about half of this right now. I think I'm just going to do about half of this. So about 25-foot rows and about 30 inches apart, I think is what I'm going to go with. It says it takes 7 to 10 days for the corn to germinate. The depth should be about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in the ground. And like I said, 91 days until harvest. So that's what we've got. So I think we will plant the corn here on this end right here, and on that end we will plant the green beans. Okay, we got our first row in. It's not perfect. Guess you could use some string and some stakes to get the rows perfectly straight, but I'm just using a hoe. Again, this is all experimentation for me. This is my first year, so I'm gonna do it all pretty much by hand with hand tools, and then if things go well and we have success with this, then maybe this winter I'll look at maybe getting something a little bit more professional. So, all right, on to getting the second row in. So we're going to go about 3 feet apart. So we should be able to get about 4 rows here. Okay, we have our 4 rows. Wow, what a workout. Now it's planting the corn in the rows. And basically we're going to plant them about 6 to 12 inches apart. That's kind of what they look like. And we're basically going to just go through here. One row down. I'm going to stop the camera. No sense in boring you with that, but we're going to go ahead off camera, finish putting our corn in the rows, then we'll come back, cover up the rows, give them a drink of water, and then I'll report back in 7 to 10 days. Could be sooner since we're in the middle of summer. These dates may be more like early spring when you plant it, when it's a little cooler. So who knows? I'll give you a full report here. Let me catch my breath. All right, I'm back. All right, so now we're going to use our rake to cover up those kernels of sweet corn. All right, we got the first row covered, but I want to show you we could have problems down the road. Look what's standing down there at that apple tree. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to see if I can zoom in. Can you see that deer? That could be a problem. We've already had a little bit of a problem with the deer. I'm going to walk right over here and show you our stamen wine-sapped red apples. They've come in and eaten the leaves off. So that fuzzy stuff you see is some of my pet dog Riley's hair. I've got it on there hoping that might act as a deterrent. In the comments section, if you will, leave a note if you have had problems with deer eating your fruit trees or anything else, and let me know what you've tried. I've heard hanging a bar of soap, but as you can see, I've put some of her fur here. We gave her a cutting here recently, and you can see they really just ate off all of or most of the leaves and broke the branch here. And you can see that doe right down there. I'm going to see how close I can get to her. See if we can get you a little closer here. We'll just keep going back, but our Golden Delicious tree, it's starting to spring back. So it looks like maybe her fur is helping the situation here. They don't seem to be bothering the peach trees. Don't know about these nut trees, whether that's going to be an issue. Boy, our almonds are doing really well. This is a Hall almond tree right here. I don't know if you can see her here. I've got the lens. She's right underneath that apple tree. Now, I don't mind her eating on that tree. That is a Wolf River. It's kind of like a Granny Smith apple. It's kind of a sour apple, and I'm not really too fond of Granny Smith apples. So it was a free apple tree that I received probably 25 years ago, when not long after we first moved here. Planted a couple trees. The sweet trees, I think they were Liberty. They were a red apple tree, supposed to be blight resistant. They didn't make it, but this Wolf River did. And the deer, they do like it. They do come in and eat the apples that fall off the ground. So we're getting pretty close to her. That's how tame they are. And they don't seem to be bothering the pecan trees. At least I haven't noticed yet. Look at her, she's just standing right there. Oh, she finally took off. There she goes, back into the forest. Alright, let's get back to business. That was enough of a break here. This gives you a little bit different perspective here of the back 40. So, our food forest with all of our trees that produce different types of fruit. Nut trees, peach trees, apple trees. So, alright, I'm going to pause the camera now and we can get back to work. Alright, before we get back to what we were doing there with the corn, thought I'd show you our blueberries. This is the powder blue blueberry bush that we bought, and sometimes you just got to stop every now and then and reap the harvest. These are really good. Got a nice sweet flavor. They're not tart like the ones in the store. So that's what those powder blue look like. And like I said, sometimes you just got to stop and enjoy the harvest. I've got some blackberries here too. Let me see if I can pull a couple of these off. Alright, and here's some of our blackberries. This is the, I think this is called the Navajo. And again, it's these are a thorn-less variety as well. I kind of like the Triple Crown. That's the blackberries that you've seen primarily in some of the other videos that we've done, and the ones that we made the blackberry cobbler with. So these are a little bit different, but good taste. We've got some wild ones that have come on over here. I should probably give you like a side-by-side comparison, because I think we still have some Triple Crown over here. Let me do that before we... It's nice to take breaks every now and then, right? So let me show you those. We'll get a couple of those, and let me take the camera off here so we can walk together. Now these are the Triple Crown, And again, you have two types of canes. These canes that you see that are flowering and starting to create blackberries are what are called the prima canes. They are the first year cane, and typically they don't produce fruit, but this triple crown does. So I'm going to get a whole new harvest, a second harvest. And the first harvest that I received was from the flora canes, which are the canes that grew last year, and the ones that have these ginormous berries. That one's not too bad. It's not like one of the giants like we had earlier, but as you can see, that's still producing. Look at that. That one's got some bugs on it, but let's take these over and show you how these compare. I thought I saw a big one back in here. That one's not too bad. Okay, let's take a little walk, if you will. Go around here. Go over here to the edge of my forest. I'm sorry, I'm walking with this camera. I'm not really paying attention to what you're looking at here. And the problem with these, they're mixed in with other vegetation, weeds, but you can see, let me see if I can get a closer look here. These triple crown are calling my name and want me to eat them, but let me see if I can give you a comparison. Let me eat a couple of these here. Eat this one. Oh, here's a good example. All right, so this is the triple crown compared to a wild one. Sorry, I got a bug on my nose. All right, there you go. Look at the difference. Let me pull this one off of this wild blackberry. And again, they have thorns. So there is the difference. There's the difference, folks. Now let me sample the wild one. You know, I think I like these thornless ones better, these triple crowns. Yeah. Those are much sweeter than the wild ones. And much easier to pick. So, anyway, I think I'm going to pass on these, but you can see they're just not very big in comparison. You'd have to pick all day to get the same volume that you would in a few minutes picking those triple crowns. So I am a triple crown fan. One, they're thornless. Two, they're huge, and they actually taste sweeter than these wild ones. So there you have it. That's my take on it. All right, let's get back to planting corn. All right, we have them all covered up. So now we're going to get our jug of water and water them in. Okay, I'm going to continue. I'm going to off camera water the others. We are expecting some rain, not tomorrow, but Thursday. So I think it's kind of the remnants of Hurricane Elsa. So that should really help get these off to a good start when that rain comes on Thursday. But I'm going to go ahead and do my best to get these watered in. So we'll be right back. Now with the Blue Lake 274 bush beans, it says here on the back, Days to germination, 6 to 8 days. The depth is the same as the Silver Queen corn that we just planted, so about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. It says the spacing should be 20 inches apart as far as the rows, and about 4 inches from one seed to the next when you plant them in the rows. And it takes 55 days from the time you plant these till the time you can start harvesting. So we'll see. We'll keep you posted. So I'm going to go down here with my hoe and basically start those rows. Okay, got the camera set up here between the rows of corn, and let me show you what these Blue Lake 274 beans look like. I'm going to drop them in the corn. Alright, so that's what they look like. So we're going to drop these about 4 to 6 inches apart. So let's get started with that. Okay, got one row in, going to cover them up with the hoe, water them in, and then I think I'll come back. I may do one more row, maybe about a week from now. And I think the other areas I'm going to plant some carrots and plant some onions. And I've got some peppers that I need to plant too, as well as some tomatoes, got cucumbers. So we will fill this block up pretty quickly. So anyway, I'm going to pause the camera, get my rake, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to lay my rake down, go get the water can and water them in.